in a way that will help you identify better with that which you really are. And with a lot of helpful hints on how to identify with the real you, the you that never ever changes, the you that's whole, complete, perfect, the you that you're trying to get to in everything you're doing, the you that you're looking for where it isn't, externally. One reason why I say it's easy is because you're trying to find you. How difficult is that? Also, you're every moment experiencing the real you. Plus every moment looking away from it. But you can't help but experience the real you. When you say I, that's it. I am. It's the beingness that you are that is you. How many of you expect to have these carcasses 1,000 years from now? 100 years from now? Even 50 years from now? We have one person. Marilyn will tell us all about it.
Well, I'll be your and your age.
You'll be plastic though, Marilyn.
You stay 18 all your life. If you want
Okay,
to.
I'll change.
And if you really love the body that much, you'd do it. You stay 18 all your life. Maybe 16, I don't know.
25.
But we should look toward the part that we really are. Bring it out. Identify with it. Make it part of our conscious living. I am I. Get the sense of only I am. I am that I am. Are you? You say yes. Okay, that's it. Just be that only. And you're in the ultimate state that you're all the time striving for with misery. Misery is moving away from that state. The only happiness there is being in your beingness. What you've heard me say is just quieting the mind through satisfying the desire. And when the mind is quiet, you're just being, and that's the happiness you feel. That's the only happiness there is. How many have discovered that yet? That there's only one single happiness. That's when you're being your beingness. Okay, that's a big assist because it should alleviate, do away with all that effort looking for it out there in a million different directions. Now that doesn't stop you from doing what you're doing out there. It doesn't matter what you do. What matters is your attitude toward it, your understanding of it. But it sure makes life easier when you identify with your beingness. Try to get yourself placed on the scale of where you are. It's good to see yourself objectively, which you're probably discovering with the TV. There's a double benefit you get from the skits. One is when you start, all your garbage, your emotions come up for releasing. And then when you watch it, it's entirely different, isn't it, when you watch it?
Yeah.
Because the first part is very subjective. It's me with all my pet garbage. And it's not what it looks like objectively. We don't see ourselves the way we really are. So when we come back and look at it, we want to hide, most of us, don't we? That's not me. I didn't do that. But you see yourself objectively. It helps you move into the points of garbage that you are very much avoiding. So when you identify as to where you are and you see it objectively, you can say, boy, I'm in the first step, or I'm in the 10th step. I've got to move. So identifying is part of seeing yourself objectively. And there's three parts that you think you are. You are, that's your beingness, that's the real part of you, which sets up your mind and then develops all these programs over the ages. And the programs motivate the thinking. And the programs are your feelings. I don't know whether any part of the world of psychology and psychiatry today accepts feelings as programs. They're so blinded as to what they are. I think they accept them as being natural and right. Just adjust them a little bit so things get a little better. But feelings are simply programs. Subconscious automated programs of how we react to the external world. And every one of them has been put in as a pro-survival program in order to keep the body surviving. How many of you have seen that all these feelings are survival programs? Well, that's great. You get to see how silly it is when you're trying to survive a situation that you are eternal in. And that's what you're doing. You've got no choice, you're eternal. And all this struggle trying to survive. But wherein is the error? What are you trying to survive? The carcass. As I used to say, if you're driving around in a car, it's your case. It's got you closed in there. So has this car case. So in your beingness, you create your mind and start programming everything, and you think you are the body, and you think the world is external to you after you have created it. You let go of remembering that you created this whole thing. It's all created here in your mind. Change the picture mentally, and it instantly changes out there. Called a miracle. I believe most of you have experienced instantaneous changes out there. How many have experienced? What am I talking for? You know. But there's nothing out there but the sum total thinkingness, most of which is subconscious, and therein lies the problem. Subconscious means simply we do not want to look at it. The mind is a tremendous mystery to the world because they don't understand what it is. They can't see the simplicity of it. It's the sum total of all your feelings and thoughts, that's all. How simple it is. It's a collection of your feelings and thoughts. And everything you experience is via the mind. Go unconscious, the mind's out of the way, there's no experiencing. So try to identify where you are at. Well, most of the time, are you identifying with your body and the world? The answer is yes. Wouldn't let you answer that one. But you can make it otherwise. You continue in what you're doing, but shift your identity from being the body just to being. Identify with your beingness, and you just sit back and you watch the world go by. You get into the state of witnessing. You don't even feel yourself moving because you cannot. You're omnipresent. When you identify with your beingness, you discover that you're everywhere present in the entire universe. And should you choose, you can take a look-see anywhere in the universe without moving because you're there. You don't even have to do astral travel. You're omnipresent. Astral travel is in the mind. Astral body, mind are almost one and the same thing. So identify where you're at. Make a decision to cut the journey short. Go free. Why agony when you can be free? So the real you is the beingness. The ego you is 2 and 3, your mind and your body. And the 3 states that you identify with are beingness, doingness, and havingness. And with this you can relate to the chart of emotions. Apathy, grief, fear are down in havingness only. When you're down there, you think your welfare, your wherewithal depends on how much you can have, and you spend all your time trying to make and have. You move up into lust, anger, pride, courageousness. You move into a doingness. Instead of thinking your welfare lies in having, you feel you got to be a doer. And of course, that's an advanced state. Only 5% of us are doers. 95% of us are wanting to have. And we're down so low, we put ourselves in the state of being a slave. We must have a job. Someone must tell us what to do and give us the food that we eat and the money to get our lodgings. The only reason why people work in jobs is that we have a slave consciousness. We're down in a havingness. Apathy, grief, and fear. That's where most people are riding the majority of times. Move up into courageousness, pride, anger, and lust. Then you get to be a doer, which is a much freer state than being a slave. And when you get into the state of I can do, you've got enough wish and will to move to the top. Because you discover when you're just quiet and being, that's the nicest thing there is. And with the doingness energy, you'll work harder to drop the remaining limitations, the ag flat, so that you can remain in just a be all the time. Now, that sense of beingness is not related to the world.